Hello and welcome to the first edition of Cal's Call's first last-minute fantasy start or sit. So we're going to be going over all the offensive positions, two of each. So first for QB, I have starting Cam Newton versus Tampa Bay. I think it's a great opportunity for him. I think he's really going to go off against this defense. It's one of the worst in the league, and he's getting his weapons back. Sit, I have Russell Wilson versus the Chargers. I don't think he's going to have that great of a game. The offensive line, it's getting better, but against the pass rush that the Chargers boast, I don't think he's going to get pressured a lot. He's not going to be that fantasy relevant tomorrow. Start, I have Mitchell Trubisky at the Bills. The Bills don't have a bad defense at all, but I think this is one of those games where the Bears' offense just goes off with their creativity under Matt Nagy. And then I have Matt Ryan at the Redskins. I think this is kind of a trap game for him. I don't think he's going to be that fantasy relevant. There's not going to be that much of an opportunity to throw it deep. They're mainly going to try to run it this game. Let's see. At wide receiver, I have start Jarvis Landry versus Kansas City. Now, Jarvis Landry, I have him. He's been struggling the past few weeks, but the Kansas City defense is not great. And I think especially with the head coach, with Jackson and Haley being fired this past week, there's going to be a lot of energy in that building to win this game and upset Kansas City. So look for Landry to have a big game. Sit, I have Emmanuel Sanders versus Houston. Houston boasts a pretty great defense. I think after trading away Demaryius Thomas, it kind of puts more pressure on Sanders. The defense is going to keen in on him. This is the only thing with the Atlanta offense that I think is going to be fantasy relevant tomorrow, and that's Julio Jones. He's a safety net for Matt Ryan in terms of yardage. He doesn't get that many touchdowns, and I don't think there'll be that many touchdowns in that game tomorrow, but he's at least a good safety net to get a good chunkage of the yardage tomorrow for the offense. And then sit, I have Juju Smith-Schuster at Baltimore. This is typically a game that's hard fought in the trenches. It's not an air it out type game. I don't think if anyone's going to be fantasy relevant from that receiver core, it's going to be Antonio Brown, so look to sit Schuster. For running back, start Christian McCaffrey. Again, that Carolina offense has a lot of opportunities against the Tampa Bay defense. I think Christian McCaffrey, Cam Newton, they're both going to go hand in hand in terms of having a great game. Sit Phillip Lindsay versus Houston. I just mentioned it. Houston has a great defense, great front seven. I think Watt, all that D-line, all the D-linemen there, they're going to keep Lindsay in check. If anything, they're going to try to use a lesser-named player and kind of throw him into the rotation which Houston won't be expecting. Start Tariq Cohen. Again, that Chicago offense is going to try to really be creative tomorrow and show out against the Bills. I think it's not even going to be close, especially with Nathan Peterman starting for the Bills. So look for that to be a blowout game and definitely try to start as many Bears players as possible. And then sit James Conner at Baltimore. Like I just said, this is typically a battle in the trenches, but Baltimore boasts a great defense. That defense was one of the best. They just allowed their first touchdown in the first half the other week. This is a great defense when it comes to stopping opponents from putting points on the board. So definitely I would look to sit Conner tomorrow. I don't think he's going to have that great of a game. Tight end, David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns versus Kansas City. I think in terms of players you should be looking at, it should be Landry and Njoku, especially with Kitchens taking over as the offensive coordinator role. I really think he's going to try to use players that weren't necessarily capitalized with Haley as the offensive coordinator. One of those players being Njoku. I think he's going to have a great opportunity to go off tomorrow. Let's see, Jimmy Graham at New England. I don't think this is going to be a big game for him. I get it, he has Aaron Rodgers, but there's going to be a lot of pressure being at Foxborough. I don't think he's gonna have that great of a game. He's going to be contained for the most part, especially because he's one of their better scoring options. Start Greg Olsen versus Tampa. It's just an easy start for any Carolina offensive player. Greg Olsen's been pretty quiet since returning from injury. I have him on my squad, but this week I'm definitely looking to start him. I think this could be one of those breakout games, which are going to be few and far between for him this year. And then lastly, I have sit O.J. Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Carolina. This is somebody who he can have a pretty great fantasy game if the quarterback's looking for him. Fitzpatrick's getting the start this week. I don't think he's going to be targeted that much. The Panthers do have a pretty great linebacker core. I think he's going to be held to some pretty low yardage. So with that in mind, that's my sit and starts for the last minute today.